My name is Anthony Elmore. Most people know me as the 5-time world karate kickboxing champion. Unknown to most in Memphis, Tennessee, is my background in history in regards to film, television, and marketing. It was only in 1977 that America saw the black AV series Roots. It was also in 1977 that Muhammad Ali played himself in the movie called The Greatest. Just 4 years after Roots, I was the first person to bring E.S.P.N to Memphis. I met with then Memphis Mayor Wyeth Chandler. I promoted my kickboxing bouts at the Cook Convention Center in 1981. Now, in 1982, I fought for the Professional Karate Association World Heavyweight title, and the title fight was shown on ESPN. Although I was bringing support to Memphis, even the local Coke distributor or none of the white companies would support a black guy who was proud and black with a Muhammad Ali persona. In regards to marketing, I was the first African American to be signed to a personal service contract with the Adolph Coors Company. I was the first kickboxer to ever do this. Now, Memphis was trying to sell itself as a sports city, and I was bringing national television to Memphis, and I met with Mayor Dick Hackett. You see, I had an opportunity to bring NBC Sports World to Memphis, and I met with Mayor Hackett trying to get the business community to support our world title fight. And of course, the business community turned down Mayor Hackett. He was embarrassed. If you look at the pictures there, I had worked out a deal where we could show Memphis Uniport Association on national television. You see, even though I was turned down by NBC Sports World because the fact I could not get local support because of the racism and the white supremacy. In 1983, Mayor Hackett wrote me a letter congratulating me because at the time, Memphis Magazine named me as one of the most 100 influential Memphians and that I was bringing national television to Memphis. Now, another interesting thing happened in Memphis, Tennessee. Gary Belts, the son of the owner of the Peabody Hotel, invited me to host our kickboxing bouts at the Peabody Hotel. You see, in 1986, Spike Lee released a black and white film titled She's Gotta Have It. I was inspired to tell my story. I took an English class and a typing course, and in 1987, I made Memphis film history in that I was the first person in Memphis film history to start production of an independent feature film. You see, for years, the Memphis media glorified Memphis State film students for making a 16mm film titled I Was a Zombie for the FBI. It was directed by Marius Pincer. And for decades, Memphis honored these young Memphis State filmmakers who made a movie. Now, our film commissioner, Lynn Sittler, she for years supported Marius Pincer and the white filmmakers, and the city of Memphis did all they could to support these white young filmmakers. Now, when I was in the process of making my movie, I asked Marius Pincer to direct my movie, and of course he turned me down. But he did direct me to a book called by Gregory Goodell called Independent Guide to Feature Film Production. Now, we go back. You see, unknown at the time in 1987 is when Lynn Sittler used white supremacy, racism, and discrimination. See, this is the history of Memphis feature filmmaking. You see, in 1929, MGM produced the black musical titled Hallelujah. In 1984, Canon Films produced the film titled Making the Grade. Now, this was shot at Rhodes College in Memphis. Now, we come to white supremacy and racism. You see, in 1987, we started our film production of our movie titled The Contemporary Gladiator, and we worked with Lynn Sittler. I was her first client. Now, we made history because we were the first independent 35mm film crew to ever produce a movie. Now, there were three major problems with our film production. The first problem was that we were an all-black film crew. Lynn Sittler was not about to use her role as a film commissioner to announce that a black film crew was doing Memphis' first independent feature film production. Now, the second problem, the film was shot in Orange Mound. Lynn Sittler was not about to report, or the Memphis media was not about to support that some African Americans were making Memphis' first independent film in Orange Mound. And the third problem was the film was about a Memphis African American sports hero. They did not want this to go out. They used white supremacy and racism. You see, Memphis Shelby County Film Commissioner Lynn Sittler refused to use her office and power as Memphis Film Commissioner to get the production covered in Memphis media. See, Lynn Sittler made sure that there was no media to report that a all-black film crew was filming the first independent feature film in Memphis history in the black community of Orange Mound. But our story was not told. Our story was suppressed thanks to our Memphis Shelby County Film Commissioner, Lynn Sittler. You see, while our film gained national and international distribution, Lynn Sittler and the Memphis media buried our story. You see, Anthony of Elmore, was racially shut out in Memphis, Tennessee. However, in 1990, I received a hero's welcome in Nairobi, Kenya, where I met Kenyan President Daniel Arap Moi, who named me an African ambassador. To this very day, I have a relationship between Kenya and America. In fact, in 2009, Memphis Congressman Steve Cohen mentioned our work in Africa on the floor of Congress. Let's listen to Congressman Steve Cohen.
After returning to Memphis, AMP developed his vision of educating and enlightening people about the cultural and economic importance of Africa as a continent, as well as Ghana. At his home and throughout the city, he showcased African artifacts, fabrics, and art. This weekend, on Friday and Saturday both, he'll be honoring Africa at his home and inviting the public and having a fashion show and an African dinner. I'll be there.
I complained about the low-down racist discrimination to Lynn Sittler, and of course, we met and she responded to me in a January 23rd, 2020 email to my associate Tracy So and copied the email to me. While Lynn Sittler praised those student filmmakers at Memphis State who made only a 16mm film, there was no person in Memphis who had ever made a 35mm theatrical film release. I brought in a black crew from Chicago. These guys had worked with major film shoots in Chicago, like they had worked with the Blues Brothers as assistants. Now, Lynn Sittler wrote to me, just wanting to get our facts straight since we hope to promote the proposed event with you, and we all need to be on the same page. Additionally, many Memphians know the earlier work of Penson Ross, and we would not want to discredit them. Memphis know the work of Henson Ross because the white media treated them as if they had produced an independent feature film. At the same time, no Memphis media covered Anthony Elmore. Just as the story of the Tulsa Massacre was hidden in Memphis, Tennessee, both black and white people in Memphis are joining together to suppress Memphis black film history of Anthony Elmore. In Memphis, they refuse to acknowledge that the start of Memphis independent feature filmmaking was started by five-time world karate kickboxing champion Anthony Elmore, and the history is modern Memphis, or the start of independent filmmaking, was started in Orange Mound, the first community in America built for blacks by blacks.